Today we want to talk about chapter 5, which is expressions. So expressions means any changes that we make to the columns, right? For example, when we add the columns, that's called expressions, right? So today we want to talk about these expressions. And as just I mentioned, the change happens to the columns. And you already know that columns, they have a different data type. So it means expressions depends on the data type, right? All right. Now, let me start by the data types. The first one is numbers, right? So numbers, it could be integer, float, double, and so on, right? So these are the type of the data types that they are categorized under the numbers. For example, we know we can add numbers, right? 2 plus 3, is, 5, right? We know 2 times 3 is 6, right? So these are the numbers, and these are the operations that you can do, right? Like a basic math, right? 3 divided by 2, and so on, right? So you can do all this kind of basic math in the uh, uh, basic math operations in the numbers, right? There are functions as well, right? For example, you can take the square root of 100, right? So this square root function is defined to take the square root of the number. Now, there are other functions as well. For example, round function, right? So 2.6, if you round it up, it's going to be 3, right? So this is going to round it up, right? Here you see the result is 3. And also, 2.4 is going to be 2, right? It's going to be rounded down, right? So here is 2, right? Now, there are other functions as well. For example, we have a function that it is called ceiling, right? So it takes to the next integer number, right? So here 2.3 is going to be 3, right? So here you see the next integer number. Also, we have floor, so it's going to make the 2.9 equal to 2, right? So it's just, right? So these are the functions that we have. Let me introduce one more function. It is called truncate. So truncate, for example, I have 3.142592, and I just want to see 2 digits after decimal, right? So I just want to see these 2 digits after the decimal. So this is the way that I want to see my number, right? So this function is just going to show me 3.14, right? So it just shows the first 2 digits after the decimal. So let's do one example. So here is the one that I want to see. So I want to see MSRP of products, and I want to see MSRP when we increase it by 10%, right? Okay. So that means I want to see the original MSRP, and also I want to see MSRP when it is increased by 10%. So I would say select from products, right? These are all about products, right? So I put MSRP. Now I want to see the 10% increase. So 10% increase means MSRP plus 0.1 times MSRP, right? Makes sense. Now you can do this one a little bit more simpler because this one can be 1 point time 1 MSRP, right? Now, when we run this, you can see this is the original MSRP, and this one is kind of, this is increased by 10%. However, the numbers are not that great, right? You see some of them, they have 3 digits, some of them, they have a lot of zeros. So I'm going to use truncate, right? So truncate this number, and then I'm just going to show this one by 2 because it's a dollar value and it should be just the cents, right? So now when I apply this one, it makes more sense, right? So $95.70 is going to be 105.27 cents, right? So here we have a function which is not a great header for here. So I can replace this one by as, and I name this one as a new price. Okay, so as and new price, right? So this as new price is a new label for this column that we have, right? So truncate this as new price. I'm labeling this one by this one, right? So by new. Now, when we run this, you're going to see the header of the second column is going to change to new price. You see that? So as a name is the way that you replace the column header. Okay, so the next data type that we have is called, we have a string data type, right? So a string like a first name, last name, and so on. So the first one, the first function that we just want to know is about length, right? So how many, it's going to be number of characters that each column has, right? For example, I want to know the employee's first name and the number of their first name characters, right? So, I just want to know how many character every first name of the employee has. Right, so the table that I'm working on is employees, right? So I just immediately type from, and then I type select first name, right? And then length, right? And then open parentheses, first name. So this is going to show me the first name and how many character has each first name, right? So when I do this, you can see, for example, Marie has 4, Jeff is 4, and right, Leslie has 6, and so on, right? So now the other functions that we have, it is called upper. So this function converts every character to the uppercase level. So let me go with this example again. So here I want to convert every letter of the first name to the uppercase letters, right? So using the upper. Now you can see Marie, all the letters of this was converted to the uppercase. Now this upper has another version, it is called U case. So it's exactly same function. So U case first name is going to be exactly same, right? So U case is going to convert it all to the uppercase. In fact, U stands for upper, right? Now, this is how we convert it to the upper case. You can convert to the lower case as well using the lower function and L case. So here, I just convert this one to the lower and L case. So you can use either one of these functions whenever it's needed, but just it perfectly fine either one that you pick, right? So here, Diane We have seen it in the lowercase, right? The next thing that we want to talk about is how to combine two or more columns, right? So that's the one that we want to talk, okay? So this is very important. You remember earlier we discussed about composite attributes and like a name. So we break those into first name and last name. Now here we are trying to combine those columns, right? So here I have first name and last name, and I want to put them together as the one column, right? So this is how standard SQL standard represent the combining. So this is how SQL standard works. So we are going to see a column 1, double vertical bar, and column 2. That means I want to combine column 1 and column 2 and represent it as a one column. However, in the MySQL, we write this one as the concat, open parentheses, column 1, comma, column 2. Okay, so let me go back with the example of the employees. So I want to put the first name and last name of the employees under one column called name, right? So I do have select asterisk from employees. Then I use a function of the concat, and then I put first name, comma, last name, right? And I put as imp name, so that means this is the employee name, right? So I just run this, right? Now, the result is not that satisfying. You see Diane Murphy, there is no space between the first name and last name. So I just need to manually add this space. So this space is going to be added to every row, right? So Diane Murphy, Marie Patterson, Jeff Fairley, and so on, right? Makes sense? So this is, there is one space you needed put here, right? This one. Now let's do one more example. So show me customer name and its full address. So the statement should return two columns. The first one is customer name. The second one is a full address, right? So I want to work on the customers, right? And then here I want to return the customer name. And then I want to return the full address. So it's going to be address line 1 and space. And then I have I have city space. I have state space, and I have country. And when we run this, so let me put this one as address, right? So this is going to be the address of the employee. And when you see this here, we have the name of the customers and then the address of the customer, right? So here we have a street number, state, and country, right? For example, here 8489 Strong Street, Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. As means I want to give a name to this, right? So that's the name. So this name is going to be sitting as the replacement for this name. So if I remove as, let's see what happens if I remove the as, right? So if I remove as, it's going to be the header of the column. You see exactly same thing that I typed here, right? So concat address line number 1, comma, space. But when I put as address, this header here, it changed to address. If you look at it, all of this is string data type. So if you go to the table of employees and you check it, if you go to the table of customers you can see all of this is string data type. So for concat function, everything that we put, right? So here, column 1 and column 2 that I put, they should be string data type, right? So they should have the string data type. Now, what happens if they don't have a string data type? The answer is we need to convert those data to string data type. So now the topic that we want to talk today, right now, is we want to convert one data type to another, right? So to convert the data type, we use the cast function and the data that we have, right? So this is the data we have. And then we use keyword as and the data type that we want to convert it to, right? Okay, so for example, I want to go to the table of payments and let's say go to the, and I want to print the name of the product. So I want to show name of the product and their prices under a column, right? Under one column. So to show this, I just need to go to the table of products. And I want to combine these two information. So it's a concat product name, right? And product name is string, so not is okay. There is no issue. However, the MSRP is double, which is one category of the number, right? So I use cast function, and then I put MSRP, and then I use as char. So this is how you convert it to the string data. So this becomes, this MSRP becomes a string data type. Now, I add the space as well, and then when you run this, you can see, for example, the name of this product followed by price of it, right? So let me put the dollar sign as well, so you can see this is the dollar value, right? So that's concludes the string data type. Now we want to move to third data type, which is date and time, right? So as you recall, date has the format of 4 digits for year, 2 digits for month, and 2 digits for days, right? And the time has this, right? I'm sorry, minute and second, right? And then date time has both of this, right? So that's how date and time they work. Now let me introduce you some functions. For example, we have current date. So using the core date, so the core means current. So it's gonna show the today's date, right? So 2/12. And then we have core time. So it shows the current time, right? So here we have the time and here we have date. And there is one more. So it's called sysdate, right? So sysdate is the date time. It has both date and time element, right? You see here, it has a date and time. So when you go to any store, on top of your receipt or at the bottom, it shows the date of the purchase and the time of the purchase, right? So that's the date time. So sys date is going to be the one that it is used on top of your receipt, right? So this is called, this is the data time, date, time, and the date time data, right? You can use, you can extract the year part from the core date. So it's going to be year part of it, right? Makes sense? You are getting the year of it. You can get the month of it as well. So month and then core date, right? So you get the month. You can get the name of the month as well. So there is a function called month name, and then you just type per date, right? And then it's gonna give you the name of the month as well. And then you can get the day of the month as well, right? So, okay. And there are other functions as well that you can study, but these are the one that you need to know it. Now for the time, you can get the hour. So, right? You can get the hour, minute, and second, right? So here, minute, and you can get the second as well, right? So per time. Okay. Now, obviously, you can replace sysdate for all of this above example, this example. For example, you can get the minute from the sysdate as well, because it has a both date and the time element, right? So here you can get the month as well, right? For the sysdate, because it has both date and time element, okay? Now, one more thing that I want to discuss. So when you subtract dates, a date minus date is going to give you number of days, right? Okay, so let me give you example. If you go to the table of orders, you have ship date and you have order date. So if you subtract this, this is going to show you the number of the days that it had took to ship the orders, right? So it is an order number. Now, if you run this, it's gonna give you number of days that it took, right? So 4 days, 2 days, 4 days, and so on. So you can do this. There is another function for this purpose as well. So it's called date diff. So you just provide the two arguments, and it's going to calculate the number of the days that took between these two dates, right? Date diff. Okay, so the date difference, that's the meaning. Okay.